Hey mini enthusiasts, how are you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're all well and I hope you're having a great day. So when this video goes out, I will be mid-Atlantic flying back from Florida. So I've been on holiday for the last 15 days and I'm flying back as we speak. That means before I went, I had to film, edit and upload 3 Sundays worth of videos, so it's been a bit manic lately. Anyway, in today's video, I'm going to be setting the clutch up. In the previous videos, as I mentioned, like one of the most important parts now the engine's in, is to make sure the clutch is working before we go much further, because if there is any issues, it's relatively easy to sort it out now, rather than bolting all the ancillary items on. So mine is a Verto clutch. Slightly different setup to the Pre-Verto in the positioning of the slave cylinder, how it works and how you adjust it. But I'm going to go through how we're going to fit this, set up the adjustment, and then we'll test it and make sure it's working okay. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Sit back, relax and enjoy it. Right, so here's our parts. I went for a new clutch slave. The old one was working okay, but when I had a look inside, it was quite corroded. So no risk there, gone for a new one. We've got new washers, all new nuts and bolts and everything. I nicely painted up the mounting plate. And then we've got new clutch hose on there. In fact, this is all new, new brake pipe. The master cylinder is the old one. And now, Verto clutches are self-adjusting, so on the earlier Pre-Verto you have to adjust the free play of this clutch arm, but you see the clutch arm's much shorter on this. On a Pre-Verto it's about twice, even 2.5 times the length, and you adjust the free play down here with an adjusting nut. But on a Verto clutch it is self-adjusting, but we do have to adjust the end stop or the throw out stop. So what can happen is if this is not adjusted correctly, it can throw the clutch out too far and that can damage the clutch, it can damage the housing. So it's quite a simple adjustment. You're just adjusting up these nuts here. So first thing I'm going to do is get the mounting plate on, get the slave cylinder on, and then I'll be back in a moment and we'll get it bled up. Right, an important point there is this is all loose at the moment. You have to allow that hose to twist to get into its natural correct position. Otherwise you'll twist the hose. Twisted hoses, very important on brake hoses. I quite often see them get twisted. It restricts the flow of the fluid, so it can cause problems with like brakes imbalanced. And it can restrict the flow of fluid both ways, so you can put your foot on the brake and it can actually hold a bit of pressure on. So yeah, always look for that. It's actually an MOT failure if you've got twisted brake hoses. That nut on the back there is quite difficult to get to, but the engine's still loose at the moment. I've not got the engine steady on, so I can just pull it forward to give me a bit more room. Can't even get the bolt started at the moment. Let's wedge the engine forward a bit. That's better. Would help if I orientated it correctly. Right, now I've got my slave cylinder in the right position, I can tighten up the brake hose now. And it's straight with no twists in it. Anyone spot my obvious error? I should have put that in. Right, I'll be back in a moment and that'll be done. Right, there we go. You'd have seen me trying to undo these nuts here. They're really tight. I really should have undone them when the engine was out of the car. But rather than sweat it, because the adjustment might be okay, I am just going to bleed it up now. We'll try the clutch and then we'll check that in a moment. When it comes to jobs like bleeding clutches and the brakes and that, I struggle a bit because it's just me. I could go and grab the missus if I need to, but we'll see how we get on first. The most efficient way to bleed is just to go down, lock it, up, unlock it, down, lock it. So, you know, two people, but you can, most of the time, just pump it and keep your eye on it and make sure this, if there's fluid in the bottle, it shouldn't allow air to go back up the pipe. A little bit worried about the positioning of that brake pipe. The clutch pipe there might be too close to the brake master cylinder servo assembly, but I won't know until I put that back in. So we're topped up with fluid. Let's just give the pedal a pump and see what happens. Right, so that's not working. I'm going to need to lock it off between pumps, which means I'm going to need to go and get some help. Right, what do I need to do? Just when I say push the clutch down. Down, up, 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 down, compliment. Up, down, 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 up, down. So we have a problem. It's not uncommon. It's not bleeding up, so it's not pumping any fluid through. It started to begin with. It was pumping, you could see it was pumping loads and loads of air out, but then when it started getting to the fluid, it stopped pumping. Sometimes the seals can sort of get damaged inside. Sometimes it is just air. Air is compressible, and it can be very difficult then to bleed up. If you get air like between the seals, it can be difficult to get it out. Now, what do? We could pressure bleed it, although I don't think I've got a pressure bleeder. I can probably mock something up. And pressure bleeding actually, so you can sort of bleed it in reverse with pressure bleeding. You bleed through the nipple, pressurise it up, it pushes the fluid back up into the master cylinder, or you just keep persevering, and you'll probably get there eventually. Sometimes there's no return and the master cylinder is knackered, but it was working okay before. I didn't fully drain it of fluid, so it's not like it's dried out or anything like that. So I'll just persevere. I'll keep trying to bleed. Unfortunately, Angie's had to go, so I'm on my own. Maybe I can get inside and reach over. We'll see. Right, so I've been faffing around for sort of 5-10 minutes. Doesn't want to bleed up, whatever I try. But the strange thing is, I lock off the nut now, and I have got a clutch. So it has bled up a certain amount. Sometimes I've found in the past, just leave it overnight. Sometimes the air finds its own way out. It will find its own way to the top, bubbles rise. So I will probably just leave it and then bleed it again tomorrow or something like that. But the clutch is working. Let me show you. So hopefully you can see the clutch arm is going in and out. And then if I put it in gear, You'll see at the moment it's in gear, so the engine's moving. If I put my foot on the clutch, move it, and then the clutch is now disengaged. Right, so the throw-out stop on a Verto clutch mini is adjusted slightly differently. First thing you need to do is make sure the clutch lever arm is pushed all the way that way, so it's making contact with the thrust bearing inside, so it's up against the pressure plate of the clutch. And then what you do is you measure 6.5mm clearance between the end stop nut and the casing. Quite difficult to measure 6.5 down there because we're not going to get vernier calipers down there to check. But what I do, easiest way to do it, if you've got a big fat lot of feeler gauges, just put a load together and then set them until you get 6.5mm. So very, very slightly over. I could play around and get exactly 6.5, but 6.53 is, I'm happy with that. Put them in, check the gap, and that is 6.5 or near as damn it. So yeah, I didn't have to undo those nuts in the end. That is a problem I don't need to worry about. Right, so there we go. Bit more of a faff than I thought it was going to be to get it bled up, but I have a pedal now. Like I say, I'll probably leave that for a bit and then I'll try and bleed it again just to make sure there's definitely no air in there. But my clutch is working, so happy days. I will go around now and just clean everything up because I've spilt a bit of brake fluid. Now, if you spill brake fluid, it's hygroscopic, which means it absorbs water. So if you spill any, just wash it off with water. You don't need anything special, but definitely don't leave it on newly painted surfaces or any paint actually. You'll get away with it on 2-pack. So on the bulkhead here, it won't cause any problems, but the bits I've painted with like Hammerite, if I leave brake fluid on there, it will pickle up the paint. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing. And if you want to drop me a comment, I do read all the comments. Have a great week. I'll catch you again next week. Cheers.